basis. Tonight we will have Prodigy Noobs facing up against Diving Phoenix. I am your caster, Uravity. I'm joined by Crypto.
Good evening, everybody. I hope you're all doing well on a Friday night.
Just realized I forgot to name the actual lobby. Oops.
Oh, well, it happens. Thank you for joining us before this match gets started. Um, we like going live so that you know we're actually going on. But the teams are still getting ready, so bear with us for a little bit.
I can't wait to type all this out and then find out it's too long and gets cut off.
I think it almost assuredly is.
Okay. Well,
But
we
for
do the
our
shortening.
currently non-existent chat,
This is true.
we are going to be playing two of probably the top expecting teams here in Tier 3 this season with Diving Phoenix and Prodigy Noobs. Diving Phoenix a pretty long-standing name within the league, would you say, Gravity?
I believe they've been here since Season 1, so yes.
Prodigy Noobs, on the other hand, all new.
Yep. Shiny new team with a lot of new faces.
Say I'm sure there's a couple names in there that just don't scream out to me as being long-termers and are. But Cloud Lemon, from the T3 Champs White Walkers last season. I'm reasonably certain Mexi Aguila Tin I have seen around previous seasons. That name seems familiar, but otherwise, a lot of talent that I at least don't recognize.
Yeah, no, I'm pretty sure I'm in the same boat as you. Obviously, I know Cloud Lemon and Mexi's username does seem familiar to me, but other than that, I'm pretty sure I don't recognize these players from any prior season. And we got a lineup for Prodigy Noobs. We'll be seeing Mexi and Nomi on the tank line. Pretty strong tank line from Prodigy Noobs. Honestly, just about anybody they've put on their tank line so far has performed quite well. They're going to have Ares and Nova on the DPS line. I do remember casting their last game, and Nova was an absolute menace when they were in. And then their support line is going to be Stell and Cloud. And
Cloud looking
just
very
lost Nomi. You were saying?
Sorry, I lost my... Cloud has looked exceptional this year. Dare I say, their individual play might even be better than it was on White Walkers.
That is quite possible. It could also be that White Walkers, like, when they were all playing on their main roles and working together as just a really good team, nobody on their team, unless it was like severe kill feed pop off, really got to stand out on their own individual play because everybody on that team just shines so well that now that Cloud is getting to play on a different team, their individual skill is showing a little bit more.
That is probably very true. That was just one of the things, especially towards the end of last season with White Walkers, is, lots of individual skill and just tight play on all accounts. And it's interesting. We talked about all the new talent on the side of Prodigy Noobs, and Diving Phoenix is just, names that you've seen around the server
A
Even
while.
before yeah, even before I was like really involved a ton. Dr. Grill, Chuck, Lee Ratty, Bulake,
Zordon.
jokingly, yeah, John Hawk. Just all these people who are names that I very much, you know, have thought very, very highly of.
Mm-hmm.
So this is kind of it's a bit of a meeting of the eras, the
Right.
up and coming noobs looking very strong, very highly regarded, versus a fixture of T3 in Diving Phoenix. Good evening, Muffin Pirate. We have, I believe, one of the owners of the Noobs organization in chat this evening.
Neat. Welcome. We hope you enjoy your stay. Has Nomi returned yet? Nomi has not returned yet.
Um, Boz wants to know, can we do 5 and 5 spec slots? In theory, there's 12. Yes, we could.
We could.
Do you need to have an empty spot to juggle people? You don't? I don't
I
think.
don't need to have an empty spot to juggle people, but we are definitely
It's up to
full
you.
of Diving Phoenix people.
I definitely just tried to scroll your stream because I had the stream pulled up.
Yeah, I'm all done.
Zordon gonna take one for the team and hop out of the lobby so that they can have some spectator slots open.
Of an appreciated move. We're ready. Can you move Abtul out for the first map? Then we can bring her in later. DP really just kind of out of sorts, all over the place this evening.
I do believe that will probably be exclusive to this situation because whenever we scrim this team, it is close.
Chuck says ready.
I was gonna say. We might be able to get this going soon. Woo!
I say we have the DP ready.
Mm-hmm.
Waiting on a ready from Noobs. You're a pineapple, Opti. Hush.
Opti is the pineapple.
The happiest, the panapliest.
Mm-hmm.
I even made him his own emote. It's a little robot face on a pineapple.
That's perfect for him. All right, we got readies on both sides. Let's play some Overwatch.
Indeed. So, are we gonna go? Oh, what we're loading in here? What the? Drop the pred on me, your Gravity. Drop the pred on me. I need to know.
Oh, what was it I said in my fantasy? I do believe Diving Phoenix is gonna walk away with this win. I'm gonna predict a 3-1 in favor of Diving Phoenix.
Interesting. So you've got the 3-1 on DP. I've got the 3-2 on Prodigy. The more I've been mulling it over, I think you might be right on the score, but I think I'm still leading Prodigy Noobs.
No, yeah, I'm not saying that, like, I know I'm saying like 3-1 Diving Phoenix. Obviously, I think they're just a little bit stronger, but that honestly that just comes from having scrimmed both of these teams a lot.
I get that. One thing as we
but game day is completely different.
Very different. We see a telestrat coming on the side of Prodigy.
That we do.
It's a nice little tech.
Try to get the Mexi's trying to get boot kills here, not quite finding it, but he's got a nice little pincer attack set up here. Nomi able to find Chuckster. That's a pretty critical pick. It's going to be really dangerous for Diving Phoenix to walk in on the Symmetra now that she's set up on point, and now the picks have started coming through courtesy of the DPS, and that will be a first objective capture going to Prodigy Noobs.
I am loving this.
It's a very clean first fight, and we do see swaps coming out already. Are we going to see the double honest tank comp come out of Diving Phoenix? I love the double honest tank comp. Ryan Winston, it does not get less dishonest than Ryan Winston.
Well, Mexi coming up from behind again, rolls through the entirety of Diving Phoenix, and Bad Juju presses L1 and finds Ares out of position on point. Cloud Lemon punches Bad Juju down though. They've done nothing about these turrets. They're going to start melting the team if they're not careful. And a boop goes through and finds the Tracer. And that'll be them leading up a second fight here. OwO going to get found out here in the courtyard. And Mexi's going to try and push up and get this pick on the Moira. Can they find it before they get out? Not quite. Jokingly able to run away.
Indeed, I love the double honest tank comp. I still love talking about it. But I'm not entirely convinced it's good. I'm very concerned that like
coming out.
Their individual abilities to survive.
Mine's coming out just to kill Grill. We now see just how kind of like convincingly Prodigy Noobs are taking these fights at this point, because Bo is just now starting to get their Deadeye. Chuckster did swap, but it was right after the first fight and is only hitting 90% now. Grill at 88%. They're at 85%, and some players on Diving Phoenix are only just now coming up on their first ultimate. Alexa's coming out from Stell. Primal to answer it though. And they knock. Oh, Hanzo climbs back. Not quite. The wall climb runs out. Juju gets a pin on the Stell, but they're able to survive thanks to the beat from Cloud Lemon. Chuckster with a double boop though. Gonna keep them in this fight. Juju on point. They still have done nothing about these turrets up in the window. Grill's pulling out the Glock and trying to get rid of them themselves, but Mexi finds a double boop onto the tank line. The hack on the Mexi though, not gonna let them get out. And Diving Phoenix, it took them 99%, but they're finally going to flip this as they get rid of the teleporter to negate a stall. Nova uses the Sonic Arrow, able to see Grill.
Chuck getting all the value out of that primal range, really kind of making it work, but a very expensive fight with, I think, 5 of the 6 ults they had used to just take this at 99.
Yeah, they're going to have to get a lot of insane value off this CMP. Siren has to build it quick and use it now. That could be huge if the follow-up's there, but it's not. It was just a moment too late. Chuckster trying to take out Nomi's 1 HP, but not quite going to find it. And jokingly touches just to buy some extra time. It's not enough though. Can anybody else make it? Siren's here. Uncloaks, but just immediately dies to the turret as they were, I assume, already low on HP, and that will be Prodigy Noobs securing round 1 of Ilios.
Down.
That was it's funny. So we talked a little bit about the scrim bucks on these teams, you know, briefly just what we had seen.
Mm-hmm.
And this sort of reflects what we had heard. That Prodigy Noobs look really good in scrims, but I'll be honest, in, you know, the scrims that I had been, you know, spectating and, you know, visiting the Scrim Buck Stock Exchange, it seemed like Prodigy Noobs was getting a lot more done in scrims than DP, even though that didn't, our personal experiences really didn't reflect that. So this is going to be an interesting matchup. This could help solidify the power rankings a bit, I think.
Yes, I agree. So we see the May on the side of Prodigy Noobs, and I'm all for that. A nice pin coming out from Mexi, gonna go ahead and remove Chuckster from this fight. Juju tries to return the aggro, but it's just going to get frozen. They don't have their Zarya to keep them alive after that either, and Bo's gonna fall on point 2. Now Grill touches with the Lucio on point, tries to get out, but the wall blocks her off. And that'll be Prodigy Noobs taking the first cap of the round 2 of Ilios now. Grill swapping out the Lucio, going to Brigitte. Siren sets up a teleporter up there near Nova. Nova doesn't notice it though and just kind of hops down. Great wall from Ares though. Puts Bad Juju in the line of fire. Unfortunately, he gets charged off into the Mega Room. Siren's trying to create point pressure, but Nova takes them down. Diving Phoenix just got split up really badly right there.
Now, this is uncharacteristically untight, I guess, in a lot of ways in DP. And I wonder, they've had a little bit of volatility in that main tank role with the loss of Bambi after last season. And I wonder if that solidifying presence of main tank and Brain is, you know, partially responsible for that.
Possibly? I'm not sure. That fight was literally just surgical from Prodigy Noobs and their ult usage and cooldown combos.
Yes, absolutely.
They pretty much just used Cole right there and cleaned up the entire fight with the help of the ice wall and point control, or area control from the tank line. So we do see Siren swap over to the Pharah and Grill onto the Mercy. They're gonna try and run the Pharah Mercy because there's not a solid Pharah counter there.
Yeah, you're not even
Blizzard coming out. Chuckster doesn't have bubbles. Chuckster's going to fall here. Siren and Bo. The Shatter comes out here. Another Shatter coming out. Nobody's fallen to either of these though. Death Blossom comes out, but Lemon able to boop it away from their team. It looks like this is going to be Diving Phoenix crumbling here at the last moment. Can Juju touch? No, they cannot. And that will be map 1 pretty convincingly going over to Prodigy Noobs.
Very convincingly, if you ask me. That was exceptionally clean.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. Oh, my boy Chuck with the big monkey plays.
Did Chuck knock people off on both ends? Oh my goodness, he did.
Man goes coast to coast. Cloud Lemon with nearly the 40% damage taken healing on Lucio. That's an impressive number.
That is.
Although, as clean as those fights were, I have the suspicion that was a lot of healing done, no doubt. But not that much damage taken.
Yes.
He healed 40% of what they took, but they just didn't take that much. You know, in that first round, they only lost one fight, and in the second round, they lost no fights.
That is correct.
Did they get a kill on the second round of Oasis?
Yes, I do know for a fact that Bo, Siren, and Grill all collapsed on Nova on point at one point in time.
Yeah. I remember Nova going down. Right. Interesting.
So the support line will be coming out for Prodigy Noobs. Boss will be taking the place of Stell, and Savage will be taking the place of Cloud.
Interesting. So, based on what we saw there, our next map is going to be Eichenwald. Eichenwald is a map that I like because it really pushes a variety of styles on each point. Namely, the oppressive high ground on second point can really punish teams that want to like force a brawl all the way through, which you can otherwise do.
I would agree.
Brawl is overwhelmingly the comp of choice in T3. I would say, you know, if you're going to break it down, you're looking at something in the 60 to 70% of all compositions played you could classify as brawl.
Yeah, definitely. A lot of Rhine-centric compositions are being used and built right now in Tier 3, it seems like.
And notably, that's mostly what we saw DP run there, was those Rhine-centric compositions. And Prodigy Noobs also played a pretty solid combo dive. Sigma's just so good, I'm still gonna call it a dive composition. Like, but it was like it wasn't honestly that divey because you had the Symmetra and the Hanzo, I believe. So like it wasn't divey, but it was. You can't call any comp like Ball Sigma is not a brawl comp.
Right.
So, but if they show that same tank line flexibility, second point of Eichenwald could be quite the challenge for DP to break through. On the flip side, if DP can find their footing on those brawl comps, first and especially third point could be very comfortable for them.
Yes, I could really see. I want to see Diving Phoenix's lineup before I kind of start speculating how they'll do on the map, but assuming they go like full in on this brawl composition, I think their Eichenwald could be really scary.
One thing I would like to see, and we saw it a little bit there, on first and second point, the Pharah play should probably come out.
Mm-hmm.
We saw Nova. I mean, we cast Prodigy Noobs' first games as well, if I remember.
Right, we did.
And Nova's Pharah is sheer filth. Like, it is real good. And I know that Siren's got a pretty solid Pharah on her side as well.
Mm-hmm. So
the fact that we didn't see any Pharah on Ilios, which is a map that, well, we didn't see any Pharah on Ilios Lighthouse, which is a map that has traditionally, I'm going to almost say allowed, not necessarily encouraged, but allowed it.
Mm-hmm.
And then we saw a little bit on Ruins, which is like the opposite, which you'd have to be, you're generally speaking a mad lad, because hit scan has always reigned supreme.
Yeah.
On there. So they're obviously willing to pull out what they think is going to work. The question is, what, okay, so we're going to see John Hawk, Holy Chuckster, Siren Lee on the DPS line, and then Grill and Feraligatron on the support line.
Yeah, this was kind of what I was thinking. They probably would be their strongest look for Eichenwald as far as roster selection goes.
This is definitely a lineup that inspires confidence in me, like the names do.
Mm-hmm.
My only concern is that this is what we would traditionally think of as a double off tank line, and double off tank is still quite good. Don't let anybody tell you that you can't play Sig Hog anymore.
No, yeah,
but I
no,
get concerned. Oh, go ahead.
No, go for it. I was just going to agree with you.
I get a little concerned when you go the full double off tank swap, but I think John is probably going to play main tank here.
Yes.
Maybe with a little spicy, both teams. He has played some main tank Zelda. Last week, and then I know I think he played Ryan in the Orisa Ryan comps we saw last year.
My memory is hot garbage. I do not remember.
Ready for battle.
So we do see Nova showing that Pharah in the opening round, or in the the pre-round.
Mm-hmm.
It's attack, so could always be bait, but I expect no bait. And then on the defensive side, we are going to see that John Hawk Reinhardt that we were discussing.
If they're going to play this Pharah, they're going to find issues in having to fight the damage-boosted Siren.
Tina says she loves us both. Love you, Tina.
No, you.
3, 2, 1.
Attackers incoming. So the damage-boosted Ashe is a pretty good way to fight a Pharah. And the Pharah has to play very smart or very aggressive until the team just sends. But I'm afraid Lady of Siren's going to get caught out here. Novafile does not engage on her. Otherwise, I think she
Turrets are set up on point by Ares. John Hawk clears them out pretty quickly, though. Chuckster finding an early pick there. John Hawk finding a Fire Strike onto their counter. John Hawk just swinging crazily on point right now. Nobody's done anything about Nova, though, and they've already found a pick. They're back up in the air. They've got the pocket. They find Feral, too. They're going to slowly pick away at this Diving Phoenix team because nobody's doing anything about them. Siren's trying now, but Nova wins the duel. Fortunately for Nova,
I'm waiting for Dr. Grill to be like, okay,
yeah.
I'm gonna hit scan. Like, somebody do something about this.
The respawn advantage is going to start coming through, though, and John Hawk's only going to be able to do so much here.
Yeah, unfortunately, after what I would argue was a pretty successful defense, or what should have looked to be a successful defense.
Yes.
Kind of tossed away is a strong word. But obviously, the uncontested Pharah claims all the value.
Yeah, it's really, really unfortunate. I think Siren probably could have taken that duel with Nova had they dealt... Well, unfortunately, they didn't deal with Nova quick enough, and they suffered the consequences of losing Feral really quickly there, so Siren had to duel the Pharah without a pocket of their own.
That's just it's literally trying to win a 2v1. Like, a heavily
huge shatter coming out from John Hawk here, and they've got the nano, so they can follow up on it on their own. Boss flies in, gets hacked. Is John Hawk going to be able to execute on this hack? Not quite. Boss finds Nova. They're going ahead and apply the blue beam again.
I think they're gonna just chill out here and wait for the tank retreat, which I respect.
Definitely.
We do see
Nova flies over, goes for the barrage, deletes John Hawk from the fight. Gets slept, but nobody's there to block the shatter, and Nomi's gonna find the kill on Chuckster. They get nanoed. Chuckster's actually able to get out for just a moment, though, before Ares chases him down, and the turret finds the kill on the Feral.
That was a really well coordinated, like, it wasn't a pincer attack, it was very pouncy. It was... I was still watching Nova, them regroup, and then the tanks come around the corner, and they just instantly go. There's no, like, posturing. It was, tanks are here, boost, barrage, shatter, nano, fight finish. Oh, Chuck.
Unfortunate, but you do take the silver lining of you force Prodigy Noobs to back off just a little bit here and buy yourself some time to kind of collect yourselves and get ready for this next push. Hat goes through on Nomi, forces them to chase. Leave Ratty way back into this corner, kind of puts them into a position they don't want to be in against this composition now. And Diving Phoenix just execute on it amazingly. John Hawk putting in so much work on this Reinhardt this round.
That was quite the little interesting exchange there. You were talking about buying space, and my first comment was absolutely going to be, when you EMP Flux, you really hope for more than some zoning.
Yeah.
But ultimately, with I don't think any more ults invested, they did end up managing to convert.
This Flux finds two. Drops Feral and chucks her onto the ground. Nova swapped off the Spara. Takes the pocket duel with Siren and knocks him out. John Hawk gets the... That is actually an interesting... That shatter, I think, should have gone through. But Ratty finds to pick up the mech Sigma Shield. Sigma Shield was off the ground.
The elevation change here really does funky things. Shatter on slopes. Also,
yeah, that is true.
A little like there's a shield in front of you on a slope. I don't trust it. If it could be buried in the ground, it could be 20 feet off the ground.
Yeah, no, slopes and shatters not friendly. But we see Prodigy Noobs trying this rotation. They're gonna go through the castle, try to take high ground. Sirens call them out. Probably doesn't.
Yes, that's what I wanted to see.
Nobody lands on the little balcony thing though. Gonna have to walk all the way back up. They're down there, Zarya for now. Ares tosses the Molten Core in. Nice block so far by John Hawk. And the counter shatter, but an anti goes through on the John Hawk, and they're gonna walk into the lava. But the first strike is the first huge EMP Flux combo here. Is it gonna be enough to turn this fight around? Lee Ratty finds the pick on the Zarya, gets another hack on the Mexi. Backing off the point but dies. It's really up to Siren here to kind of clutch this out. Chuckster just trying to push the tank line back.
Actually maintaining an incredible amount of space, and like they weren't pushing the cart, so kind of on them. But quite a large amount of cart control there. And the pressure coming out from Diving Phoenix here is probably going to be enough to... Oh no, the double turret takes down for Alcatraz.
That it does. This Bob zoning just a little bit here actually might have saved Prodigy Noobs.
I suspect Hawk is getting ready to DC. I just have this feeling. Oh no, he looks like he's back. Okay, he was doing the run into the wall and just perma swing thing, and I thought it was the DC. He's back. He's back.
Nice wall coming out, cuts off the team a little bit. That's a huge shatter, but no follow-up unfortunately because of the wall. The Flux finds three. Nice bubble on the Salvage, gonna keep them, or Savage, gonna keep them up here. Nice block from John Hawk there. The Nano goes through onto the counter shatter though.
Oh no.
Mexi's in trouble. Yep. Grab being invested here. It's gonna find Feral and John Hawk. But I think this is a deep... No, not quite. They're turning it around. The wall and the Chuckster cuts them off from their support. Rill trying to get around the wall to heal, but can't quite find it. Bob has been built and is thrown out into the open. Gonna find the pick on the grill. And Prodigy Noobs just have this last corner to go. 45 seconds left on the clock. Can Diving Phoenix finish out their defense, or do Prodigy Noobs just outright take it? Somebody's got a touch!
That was... that's rough. That's rough.
That's a rough one to take.
DP... I think they kind of needed to pull up their britches and take one for the team there.
Yeah, like, somebody needed to feed for the sake of buying time.
especially when you have the EMP coming out. Like,
Right.
if there's ever a fight that you don't hate taking 5v6, it's an EMP fight. Like, I mean, half the time you expect your Sombra to EMP and then jump out anyways, because usually a good EMP location is maybe not where you want to stand during a fight.
Right. So we'll get to see how Diving Phoenix choose to attack this point, as well as how Diving Phoenix choose to defend it. And they're actually going to pull a... they're going to go off the beaten path here for tonight's game and go with a double shield. The first one of these tonight.
I think double shield is pretty good here on Ike first.
I would agree.
As long as you play the long sight line through the choke and like make sure you have plenty of time to poke brawl comps out, like I think that's pretty valid.
3, 2, 1. Attackers in.
Also the defensive, like I don't know if Ares just has Sim as a comfort pick or this is just all big brain strategy, but I love to see like intelligent Sim play.
Yeah,
really quite a treat to
this looks
typically
really
very big
practiced, and that was a really nice just pull and melt on the John Hawk there.
Well, that's it. It's not a cheese strat, but
No.
if a Reinhardt doesn't realize that they are walking into a sim trap, and especially if there's no Zarya on the other team, a halt will basically guarantee death. And that's just
Right.
a first fight, win when that goes off. But we do see the Pharah come out, which if the Pharah is willing to take a little bit of an off angle and risk Nova File, they can clear those turrets. And we do
they
see
get rid
them
of
already
them.
breaching.
Unfortunately, Nova able to already pick Lee Ratty, and the movie screen comes out, so that's going to force Diving Phoenix's hand. They lose John Hawk, though, who was stuck inside the tower. Might lose Feral, too. They're trying to get out. The Hulk comes through, and Nova finally able to get the final shot off on the Feral Ligatron and take them out of the fight. That's going to stagger Diving Phoenix. Oh, the Diva! Chuckster gets found!
Chuckster staying in way late there. Way late there. Correct, Seth. The Ana buff is in. Ana nades go through healthy targets.
That is the biggest buff in Overwatch history.
I mean, you could argue it's a small unbuff. Like, there's nice being able to pre-heal. But the aggro is coming in on the side of VP.
The ults are coming out soon now for Prodigy Noobs. This is just a really chaotic fight here. We see Mexi here just trying to beat down Chuckster. Now Nomi's attacking the back line now that it's wide open. They're chasing them down into this little tunnel here. And that will be another really well done defense from Prodigy Noobs. Though if I have anything to add about that, it's the ult usage. Whereas Diving Phoenix only used one ult, Prodigy Noobs used 4.
Indeed. One thing that I did want to note that I liked, I don't know if it was another planned play, but they actually parked Bob on top of the supercharger, which
Diving Phoenix's tank line in more than a lot of trouble right now. Especially a huge shatter. 5-3. Now the barrage comes out. They start finishing people off. 4 picks have already gone through for Diving Phoenix now that they're just using these ultimates and they don't have anything to do to answer to it. They're retreating now. The Baptiste has hopped over the castle wall and they're going to go back and take B now. That's why I wanted to make note of the ultimate usage of that last fight, because I was like, if Diving Phoenix run into this next fight and they ult dump, they win this, but the thing is, they actually didn't ult dump. They only used 2 ultimates, and they actually swapped off of the Pharah onto a Tracer.
I'm gonna make a little call out. Feral is having such a hard time managing his sightlines versus Nova and getting picked early that I actually think it's worthy dropping the Pharah. Especially here on second point where there's not even as much to hide with, if you will.
Right.
Like there's a lot less, if your Pharah is in the Skybox, there's not a lot to work with. Whereas you have that main pillar you can kind of juggle around. Okay.
The flux coming out from Nomi. What's it gonna find? It picks up the tank line. Chuckster is in a lot of danger right now, getting popped off by the Collectors. Now Bob's been invested. Immortality Field is out. Chuckster's getting hyper aggressive with John Hawk right beside them. John Hawk's just pushing it further and further with Siren now coming up from the stairwell, pressuring them from behind. Is it going to be enough or is it an overextension? Chuckster gonna plant the bomb. There's no shield. And Mexi's gonna go. It's a main tank trade. However, Ares did manage to find Grill in this exchange. But Lee Ratty and Siren on this just stairwell here, using their close quarters combat, just spread damage, able to melt everybody over there. And what looked grim for Diving Phoenix for a moment turned back into a pretty clean take here so far. And now Prodigy Noobs are coming out. The Immortality Field's used too, but a counter shatter to negate the window. Can John Hawk execute on their own shatter? It's gonna bank on him doing that. These turrets on point are gonna kill Chuckster, the Baby Diva, and now Ares is just cleaning everything up. Siren able to get an exit pick on Nova, but it's not really gonna do a whole lot because of the spawn advantage.
So I'm not sure if I'm going to call this an unforced error, because I'm not certain it's an error, but I think Hawk made a decision that I wouldn't have made, which was he came back through the cart path, not through castle for that fight. So he actually engaged all the way from the other side of the bridge with charge just to get into that fight.
Yeah.
And if
well, now they're going to go in from the castle, and they're just going to kind of funnel into all this damage from Prodigy Noobs. Riptide coming out from Lee Ratty. What's they going to find? The Immortality Field's already out. Got a little greedy there trying to find the Mercy and loses the Tyrant altogether, though. Now the Shadow comes out. It only finds the D-Mech here in Novaphile. While the cart's pushing, they got a touch. They finally drop. Grill finds a pick on the Nova again. But now it's... Oh, Siren actually with another pick. Could they turn around? Not quite. Now they have 15 seconds to touch. Is anybody even going to be able to make it in time? This kind of just solely lies on Chuckster making it to touch.
Yeah, and they're going to struggle if they come out through that castle this time with those double turrets there. Chuckster going up and over.
They're here.
He's going to get D-Mech.
Shatter comes through, finds the tank and Ares. Mexi able to clean up John Hawk though, and another window coming out from Savage. Farrell able to find a boop kill on the Nova though, if they can keep this up with the DPS, but a Shadow comes through, knocking down the remaining members of Diving Phoenix, and now there are 4 members of Prodigy Noobs here just to clean up Dr. Grill, and that will be map 2 going to Prodigy Noobs.
So, good news. I think that was a much better look for Diving Phoenix. Oh my goodness. The one thing Farrell did. Okay. Okay, Nomi, fair. They really just did not give him any respect at all. Lucia just was like, I'm gonna go around and I'm gonna do what I want, and I'm gonna do some boops, and I'm gonna do some headshots, and you're gonna die.
Those 2 kills that Lucio found sort of had me thinking Diving Phoenix might have clutched it out. But
yeah, no,
Mexi pulled the 180 shatter and knocked down the half of Diving Phoenix. It was still on point.
Indeed. So, as I was going to say, good news for Diving Phoenix. I think that looked notably more together.
Yes.
Bad news for Diving Phoenix. They still lost that map.
Also, yes.
But if they keep trending up, we could have a series on our hands for sure. I don't know if they have a coach or whoever, but Chuckster best be given, a good halftime pep speech, try and rally the troops here.
I think just a couple of small tweaks to their teamwork, and this is that series on our hands you were referring to. It's
indeed
obviously like map 1. was definitely like a Prodigy Noobs. Like they 100%. I'm trying to type and speak at the same time, and it is not easy.
It's fine.
Prodigy Noobs like dominantly won map 1, only giving one fight win to Diving Phoenix, but that looked a lot more clean by Diving Phoenix. They didn't get the point 3, but it was definitely an upgrade from the Diving Phoenix we saw on map 1.
I fully agree with that.
And if they can do that again for map 3, they actually could potentially break even with Prodigy Noobs. Even if they don't end up winning map 3, I think it will at least look like they could have.
I don't disagree. We have swaps coming in from Prodigy Noobs. Nomi staying in on tank, but Mexi going out in favor of Sleep. Shake. Ares coming out for Cable XF1 to come in. And then the support line will be remaining the same. So, based on an eyeball guess here, Cable is a little higher on the DPS tier rating than Ares was, and Sleep is probably a little lower than Mexi was. So they're trying to balance out that point value.
Right.
Swaps coming in from DP as well. We have John staying in, Hawk out for Juju, Lee staying in, Gamble coming in for Lee Ratty. No, excuse me, for Lady of Siren. Grill and Feraligatr remaining in on the support line.
You said that they were swapping for Lee, and I was like, wait a minute. We're getting rid of their really strong Junkrat player on Anubis?
I know, no. That's why I paused to check myself, because I had already wrecked myself. So I felt like I needed to check. I'm like, wait. You got all your swaps done?
All the swaps are in.
Let me ask for the readies.
I feel like we did not see Cable last time we casted for Prodigy
If we
Noobs.
did, it was maybe only one map, and we have the R.
From both sides?
Yep.
Alright, we go in. Nation is telling me it's their debut, so
Aha.
keep an eye on Cable.
Initiating match.
Cable is a god you're about to see.
Anybody ever notice that these barriers look like 3 people and one of them's waving at us?
Yes. Now, I'm curious. What do you call that
Ready
spot?
for battle.
This specific spot right here?
Yeah, like if you're playing up on that bridge, what's your call out for that?
I don't have a call out for that, mostly because nobody ever uses it. If I had to give it a spot, I would probably say on top of the gate.
Ah, fair enough. I didn't know if you called it like Fenceman or if this was just a sudden realization.
No, this is a sudden realization. I just happened to glance at it and noticed them. I knew the barrier was there, I just didn't notice it looked like that.
Attackers
2 OPN, Korean. 2 OPN. Okay, so on the incoming we have a main tank focused dive, but with a Lee not even on the jump route.
Lee able to
Finding
pick up the
quick
cable.
hit.
Boss with the res though. And
my
Lee
God.
gets the shutdown with the res. Diving Phoenix refused to stay down here.
Lee looking just as spicy as Nomi on that Widowmaker.
It's just trading back and forth here so far. Nomi with another pick. They're gonna have to do something about it, Nomi here, because I'm pretty sure Nomi managed to find 3 final blows there in that team fight. Starting to get scary for Diving Phoenix.
No,
I'll
that
say
was,
though, this dive from Diving Phoenix, I mean, it struggled a little bit once they started pushing towards point, but I mean, a lot of it had to do with Lee Ratty getting 2 picks on the same person right as soon as it started, just getting the res out of the way, but really clean point A so far.
Absolutely.
A bit of a harder time pushing B, I think, though.
Yeah, this dive comp is, they've got like one good shot.
Well,
with
John Hawk has
popping
already
his
just
ultimate.
yeeted the monkey in. They're going to try and get this pick on the boss. They're looking for it. Pretty hard focused on the killing them, but boss is getting a pocket. It hasn't actually fallen below full health yet. John Hawk leaping back in with bad juju. The bomb goes out from Nomi as well as the window. Now bad juju falls. John Hawk finds a pick on the Baptiste and the supercharger, but finally falls. It seemed like Diving Phoenix just could not catch up to their own tank line and unfortunately loses them before they actually get a full fight on point. I do believe this is when Diving Phoenix need to acknowledge their comp is a little too janky for point B and swap off of it. Or at least to make alterations.
So I think they need to. I'm not convinced they will just yet.
Like Grenade's having a good time.
Hawk was making a very concerted effort, even after that fight was deeply lost.
Nova's gonna find one pick here, and it's going to be on their counterpart.
That's really about all you need.
Gamble has a Riptire of their own. They're probably, I would assume they're gonna try and force Immortality Field out with the mines.
Yeah, I suspect we see Juju go in. Oh,
Juju is having some technical difficulties with their cord. Novaphile with 2 already on the support line. Gamble finds a member of the support line on Prodigy Noobs with the spawn advantage. This is 2 CP. It's going to be really hard to swing this with even trades, but it doesn't matter because Nomi is cleaning up now, and a rock straight into bad Juju is going to take them out.
So, I'm a little concerned about Juju's ball play here. It ain't great. Like, we've seen a couple specific instances where it maybe got a little hairy, but he's about to get lapped in ultimates by a Winston, and that's not what you play ball for. Like, you should be building ultimate and dumping ultimate like it's a cooldown. Not competing with Primal Rage for, you know, usage.
Yeah.
I hope to see them both engage with their ultimates here and have John bat people back into the minefield. That might be the ultimate way to kill.
Hasn't been noticed by their support line yet. If they get hit by one of these stray grenades, finally boss is able to pop them off. The dive from John Hawk coming out, they forced out the Immortality Field. Gamble able to find a pick on the cable, and now John Hawk corners boss here. Transcendence coming out to counter the window. Is it going to be enough? Sleep Shake gets melted. Oh no, sorry, Sleep Shake melts Gamble. Huge bomb from Nomi! That
bomb probably changed the course of this fight entirely.
Yes, it absolutely did. Unfortunately, that does clean out their ult bank for now. Nova will get a Riptire, which if used, like, if Diving Phoenix plays the way Nova wants them to, can be used to stall for another ultimate to come online. Maybe hope for a flux build. Here it is from Nova. Starting, oh look! Just a random fire strike was thrown before the tire even got casted! Gets rid of it! John Hawk charges in a little, maybe too aggressively here, but the mines finds 2 now! And another tire shutdown. Neither Junkrat getting to have fun with their rip tires here. High Noon being cast, forcing people into this little back room here. Nomi trying to get the pick on the Lee Ratty, not quite finding it yet. Molten Core being used on the point, but John Hawk is going to shut it down with an Earth Shatter. Now members of Prodigy Noobs are coming back out onto the point. Novaphile has found 2 kills already. The Flux is being used here. It picks up Lee Ratty and slams him down on the ground. Not any support that can really help Lee Ratty get back up to health. And Prodigy Noobs are coming back and holding this so far. All that's really left on point here is Bad Juju and Grill. Grill falls, Juju lifts them all into the air but gets melted. And somehow Prodigy Noobs holds on to that.
Oh, that was quite the fight, quite the time spent. We do see Lee swapping over to the Ashe, the unpocketed Ashe, a bit of a rarity in this day and age, but I don't dislike it. I would really like to see Juju swap to probably an off tank here, but
they may have just found Sleep out of position heavily. John Hawk dove underneath the tunnel to finish him off, but doesn't get any support of their own. And now both support ults are out from Diving Phoenix, and they lose most of the coalescence to a rock from Sleep. It's a 6v5 favoring Diving Phoenix until they lost John Hawk to the window right there. They're all huddled up in the corner trying to get value out of this window from Savage. Then Nova is going to find another big pick here. Nomi comes up on the huge and finds Juju, which was going to be their main stall. Grill is on point now, trying to stall long enough to get other members of Diving Phoenix back on point, but it's not enough. Lee Ratty falls. John Hawk isn't going to be able to make it in time, and after what I believe might have been like a 5-minute hold, Prodigy Noobs make it happen without only giving a tick, right?
yeah. 40.3. I have thoughts. You want to start with the individual thought or the team thought?
Give me whichever one you want to give me first.
I feel like when proper progress, they didn't pace their ults well. And everybody knows that actually capturing a 2CP lull is very difficult. But I think they would have been more likely to make it happen, or at least got more progress if they hadn't ult dumped. I think that's actually a very frequent issue at this level of play, is just win the fight with the ult dump. Everybody hit their ult and go. And that's great for every map that's not point B of 2CP, where it doesn't matter how fast you win that first fight or how, accurately you win it, they're gonna get to come back.
Yeah,
and
there's a second fight that's gonna happen.
We see the double honest tank comp coming out again from Diving Phoenix.
Lee Ratty gonna do exactly what Cable did on their start, which is the damage boosted Ashe up on the high ground. Nomi able to guide their team to safety here in this left room. If you want to call it safety when you're leading them into a Junkrat, but the Junkrat's on an off angle, so Prodigy Noobs kind of being given free reign for now. They're probably going to lose their Junkrat on the side of Diving Phoenix. He's been turned on, and they do lose them. Losing Gamble here is actually really crippling for Diving Phoenix. Ratty able to get a pick on the Savage, though, which should be able to stagger Prodigy Noobs' real progress long enough for Gamble to get back.
Absolutely. I would love to see Gamble get back here very quickly and maybe even engage on this fight through the side windows from their spawn. I think that would... and they do look for that angle. The double honest tank cup just applying so much like frontline cleave.
Yep.
Along with the Junkrat spam that,
Gable's having a rough time building ult charge because of the way the pathing they're taking specifically. We saw Gamble get removed from the last fight entirely for about 20 seconds, and Gamble's closer to a Riptire. Not by much, but closer to a Riptire than Gable, who I don't believe has been removed from the fight yet.
I don't believe so either.
They forced Prodigy Noobs down onto point a little sooner than they wanted to be. The Flux coming out picks up a lot of Diving Phoenix. The Dragons go up into the air, surprisingly, instead of banking on getting the kills as they hit the ground. The Tire's also not going to find any kills. Bob's getting tossed on the point. Finds the pick on the Savage as they land on top of them. And now Diving Phoenix is going to just push Prodigy Noobs off the point. And they're approaching their halfway mark, so...
That was a bit of a potentially potentially quite the error on Novophile, shooting the dragons up at targets in flex rather than at the ground as
Yeah.
came through. I think we potentially could have seen, you know, between 1 and 3, probably 2 kills.
The beat's being used here. They want to go in on this, even without their primary source of damage. There isn't a support on the side of Diving Phoenix. It really tells them not to do this anyway. And Gamble not able to come up with anything. Shatter coming through from Nomi, gonna get the pick on the Pharaoh. But now Nomi's completely out of the fight. The Grill able to come off from Grill, finds Bad Juju, and John Hawk able to find a pick of their own. Diving Phoenix are starting to retake this point. Nomi's returned to the fight, swinging for everything they've got. Is it going to be enough? Sleep Shake and Nomi might be turning this point around on their own. And now Cable's back in the fight. All that's left here to fight is John Hawk and Primal. Now Ratty's here again. But the respawns are going to start coming through. They're going to push really hard. This is going to be a really hard fight for Diving Phoenix to close out. They lose Lee Ratty, but Coalescence being used to keep John Hawk healthy. But they've got to deal with the Reaper of Novophile, a direct counter to the Winston. And now the Coalescence from Savage is going to start keeping their numbers up. But a huge shatter coming through from Bad Juju. The cleanup is starting to happen. Nomi finds the pick on the Dr. Grill. That's a lot of healing lost now. And the shatter coming out from Nomi again doesn't find anything though. And Lee Ratty finding the picks again up on this high ground, uncontested. Cable's gonna fall, and it's looking like Diving Phoenix are gonna hold point A of Anubis to keep their series hopes alive. Savage is on point, touching just in time. The support line is here, but they lose Savage so quickly. Boss is trying to stall him, Lucio just wall riding, and Sleep Shake gets taken out before they even have a chance to touch. Spicy's stuck in a trap. The Riptire's coming through. Could it be huge? Is it going to be big enough for Novophile? But they break it! It could have been a huge tire to save this fight for them, but not quite in time. Novophile falls, and the Junkrat's not able to make it in time. Diving Phoenix keeping their series hopes alive by taking Temple of Anubis.
That was an excellent hold from DP. That was just really fun. I talked earlier about the double honest tank comp, and I meme about it. Oh, wait, did Nomi actually glock down the barrier there? Oh, that's nasty. I was wondering what exactly happened there.
Yeah.
But okay, yes. So that was quite the hold from DP there.
Yeah.
Like everything just kind of worked out. They made a couple errors, but they wasn't anything huge. But that was like, God, that was, you know, sometimes all the pieces just fall into place, and that's really what it felt like for DP there. Is it just worked right?
They literally had every tool in the ideal place they needed it just by happenstance. Like, the order of which every hero was killed on their team and had to walk back in was like, when Moira re-entered the fight, that was exactly what they needed, type of thing. When this hero re-entered the fight, that was exactly the hero they needed. Oh, this person came back with exactly the ult we wanted at this given moment. So it literally all came together for Diving Phoenix in that final fight just perfectly by happenstance.
I can't disagree. I mean, I kind of called the play with Gamble in that first fight going down and then coming back and going for the hyper off angle. Nobody ever uses this with like side window spam, and like, you know, that setting that fight up to be okay. And getting the ult charge to get ahead of Cable as well, which we mentioned, even after being out of the fight for 20, 30 seconds. It just was so much like the pieces. It was really like, even if it wasn't the cleanest possible round, like certainly I would not call that a clean defense.
No,
it was bellissima. Yes. Cloud Carry, also very handsome. Crypto just blew a kiss on air. Yes, I did. Again.
So, swaps are coming in from Prodigy Noobs. They're going to take Sleep back out, put Mexi back in. Cloud's coming back in place of Savage. And once they arrive in the server, Capital will be coming in for Cable.
Yes. Prodigy is bringing in their DBD specialist, I'm told. They were discussing earlier that he would just be the nuttiest player if he could stop playing Dead by Daylight and play some Overwatch. So, they got him on the Overwatch. We'll have to see what happens here.
That is true. I know last week, or I guess last rotation when we saw Capital playing, they were an absolute menace on Ashe. Really just anything you put them on that was hit scan related, Capital was really dominant on. And they're coming in for Havana once they enter the server, so really good map for that type of play. And we have the swaps for Diving Phoenix.
Which is to say, a player with one of my personal favorite names. Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan Steph.
Yeah, I know, right? I love it.
Coming in for Algatron. So, interesting. Also a top contender for longest unacronymed name, I suppose.
Yes.
Oh, I don't know who could possibly be longer than Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan.
Yeah.
But yes, so I suspect we see Lee on the Junkrat, or no, not on the Junkrat. Lee on the Widow for Havana again after that spicy performance.
Yes.
Possibly on the Ashe. Quite impressed with Gamble on that map. Not a player we've seen a ton of ever. Like I think they were an initiate in the off season, just came in. I hang out with them in Pokecourt on occasion,
Mm-hmm.
But they looked pretty good as well. So I'll be interested to see what this lineup can do, because that was just, they have improved every round of play we have seen, including like even mid rounds. Like,
right.
I would say that second half of Anubis was much better than the first half of Anubis. Just waiting for Cap to join voice channel, says Boss.
All right.
Soon TM.
All right, ready,
no,
so.
Seth, I'm sorry. I needed the 3-1 Prodigy Noobs for my fantasy, my man.
Traveling to Havana.
Yes, that's what I'm talking about, Muffin Fire. We close it out. No map 5. TN wins it here. Actually, I'm not really rooting for anybody. I really like players on both teams. I've enjoyed talking to Muffin Pirate and Cloud Rain and some of the guys over on the Prodigy Noob side, and then there's some real quality people who've run DP as well that I enjoy talking to. So I'm a little split.
Mm-hmm.
So my bias is all from the fact that I had PN winning 3-1 in the fantasy league, which it's too late for this week, but next week, probably Monday, Tuesday, the next round of OwO Fantasy will come out for the Tier 2 week. You can catch that in the server, and I'll probably have it go up on the Twitter as well. Ooh. Currently only 6 people with perfect scores from that. Okay, so we're seeing
Really
a
Ratty
double
falls,
tank
gets
count.
sniped by Cloud Lemon. Gonna get rezzed up though, courtesy of Dr. Grill, who has left their Ashe in order to keep their tank line up, but they lose bad Juju because double shield spam is strong.
Double shield spam, very strong.
I'm gonna assume Diving Phoenix weren't expecting Prodigy Noobs to roll out here on this. They're not pushing cards, by the way. I don't think they were expecting Prodigy Noobs to roll out on this double shield commitment right away. Cloud Lemon has finally noticed, but Gamble is in the back line, wants to stop Cloud Lemon from touching. It's actually bought Diving Phoenix enough time to get both of their main tanks back. They're gonna trade out their Junkrat, but they actually have a decent chance of recontesting here now.
Yeah, not pushing the cart there, I actually suspect it's going to punish Noobs a little bit if they don't win this quickly.
Nice Dynamite, got bounced off the top of the shield. They do lose Steph on the side of Diving Phoenix, but John Hawk places Supercharger, gonna make them a formidable foe right now. And Gamble's up here contesting Vices off the high ground. Transcendence coming out. Finally, they lose their Supercharger. Dragons are here. Juju can't quite get out of them, and Steph gets found in them too. And right now, it looks like they're going to turn this card in uncontested.
Absolutely, and now their DP in all likelihood going to get staggered here at least a little bit. I don't know how aggressively Prodigy Noobs are going to play this, but with the double shield comp, I'd love to see them take control of this high ground. It doesn't look like Mexi is going to make the full rotation, but we do see Spicy coming up here. But no, with this double...
Vices will pick up early Ratty already. Real with the res. And the
Step
leap.
spending the immortality field on their own fire damage there feels like a large error.
Bad Juju's in a lot of trouble. They've gotten discorded and they're under Supercharger fire. And Spicy Nomi's gonna clean it up. They might also get grilled too. I think if Diving Phoenix really want a shot at shutting down this push from Prodigy Noobs, they need to properly group up. Or Gamble can just pop off.
Say, Gamble probably buys them, quote unquote, a real recontest opportunity here.
Ratty shuts down Mexi. If they can get rid of Cloud Lemon, this becomes an actual chance here. Shatter being invested here just to take Nomi to the other side of point B.
No, I think, I was a little worried that Gamble was just staggering themselves out there. But they actually converted, you know, those 1.5, 2 kills or whatever. Was probably what allowed them to confidently recontest and hold here.
Yes.
That's kind of the first fight win that EP has had so far. So the question now becomes,
the Bob gets tossed in, but they lose Vices immediately. Gamble gets knocked down with the Bob. Immortality field being used just to kind of counter him. Juju's lost their shield. Bob of Diving Phoenix has been invested now. Is going to force Prodigy Noobs to play back a little bit. Transcendence is a decision.
Yeah, that's... Whoa. So that was a very messy fight all told from the side of Prodigy Noobs. They really heavily split their pathing, and then we see Cloud with a big old fat finger. Although a nice
this is the second time that's happened. Cloud is trying to prove that they're actually running triple sniper. Nice field there, able to keep Bad Juju alive through the slam and the pin, and now the picks are coming through courtesy of the tank lines. The res is going to come out from Bab. Juju tries to get a pin. Both Reinhardts just find their way back to their own back line. Now Vices is up on this high ground, damage boosted and uncontested. John Hawk's going to hop up, try and get a pick onto the Mercy, but unfortunately, John Hawk's team has fallen on point. John Hawk is going to be their only source of touch, and John Hawk falls. So this is a point C gathering.
You know, I really don't envy Mexi here. Ultimately, he's kind of in Big Red Rectangle Man mode. He doesn't have a lot of sustain to really like swing, especially up against the Junkrat and damage boost and stuff. Because the Prodigies are playing a really kind of a low sustain composition. Really pick focused between
Nova hops up onto this window and just hop back down.
Now this is the point where the sniper differences will probably show it.
John Hawk leaps in the backline, is just harassing. They force out Transcendence. Unfortunately, though, at the expense of their own life. Window Bob, scary Bob.
Window Bob, very scary. Bob at the movie.
Lee Ratty able to find a pick on the vices.
And we do see
Gamble's in a little lot of trouble.
Campbell was in a lot of trouble, but they got a lot done from that position, and it might even be worse. Now the problem here is, as this defense digs in, it's going to get harder and harder to break.
Yeah.
And Hawk's Primal Rage gets very scary again with the amount of cliff.
Great shatter coming through, finding two, and a good fire strike to damage Juju enough and get some damage on the step, forcing them back. But the res comes through on the Juju, and a pin from Mexi, taking Juju all the way to their own backline. Is it going to be enough to turn this around? Juju's actually going to almost find their way out, actually. Damage boosted fire strike. Nomi in a lot of trouble. Are they going to be able to get out? Looks like they are. John Hawk just pressuring them back with this cleave damage. John Hawk's gun does not care about shit. But Nova Pile with the Blossom Flux combo. Prodigy Noobs gonna find their way into the fort now. Are they gonna be able to turn it all the way in though? Lee Ratty up on the high ground, pressuring Nomi already. Juju drops on top of Nomi's head. Getting forced back really quickly. Almost out of shield, there it goes. Now they're gone too. Bob being invested lands on top of the cart. This is really good for them, and they find the pick on the Mercy just to start this fight off. John Hawk's been shattered and fire strikes already, but Bob's doing enough work. Bad Juju finding a kill, or not a kill, a shatter, but does find a kill with the pin, which was intended for Nomi. Riptire coming out, doesn't find anything because Steph is popping off with their own weapon. And Diving Phoenix will get a complete defense, which had looked kind of bleak for them in the first half of the map.
No, after the, we had the first fight, which went longer than it should have because PN kind of dropped the ball on cart control.
Oop.
But that's fine. Not a big problem. Second point. Gamble, turned the fight and allowed it to stabilize, which was huge for Diving Phoenix.
Mm-hmm.
But like outside of those two pretty fortuitous events, that felt really, really sketchy on the side of DP. I'll be interested to see what they bring out on their attack. We do see Lee looking early on the Widowmaker.
Don't be scared. Attackers incoming in 30 seconds.
And then sticking with the double honest tank comp. The double honest tank comp. Double flex support. Interesting. But ultimately a pretty similar defensive comp. No Zenyatta, which given how much Hawk was really trying to make Cloud's life unenjoyable, that makes sense. I get behind that choice. So we do see double sniper.
Lee Ratty with an immediate pick on the vices. It's going to get rezzed up. Lee Ratty do the same thing they did before they do!
Lee looking hot-handed tonight. Undoubtedly on this Widow.
Now it's just a matter of kind of breaking through these shields. They want to keep running this Winston comp. The only reason I feel Winston works here is because he doesn't care about shields existing. They do lose Steph though. That's going to be a big hindrance for Diving Phoenix. Capital's back now. They lose John Hawk. Realistically, this requires Diving Phoenix to get out. Bad Juju hits charge just to get out of line of sight, but Mexi's going to keep pushing the aggressive here. They have the ability to maybe kill Bad Juju. Not quite.
No, that's one of the problems. I think John Hawk is doing a lot of heavy lifting. And when he is going down in these fights, they're getting stalled out really rapidly.
Another res being used on Capital. They relocate to this other high ground. So it seems like Diving Phoenix has their number there. Nova with a really nice Riptire. They use the Coalescence and the Riptire to kind of close this fight out now. John Hawk falls. And a second successful fight for Prodigy Noobs.
I don't hate that ult usage on the side
Of Prodigy Noobs there. They had a nano Winston kind of up in their grill.
Yeah.
No pun intended. Who also was sure to have Primal
Juju's in
at
a
the
lot
end of
of
it.
trouble here. They've got no shield with a supercharger active, and all of Prodigy Noobs is trying to execute on that.
Honestly, not a bad kite from DP though. Not really losing that fight. Just stalling out at start time.
Yep. John Hawk's trying to push them back with his cleave. It works. Unfortunately though, Juju's shield is gone, but they're forcing Prodigy Noobs back a lot. For the pretty nice price of nothing used so far except for the Valkyrie. And Lee Ratty finds the opening pick here. John Hawk gonna stay on boss, not gonna let them get this res. They want to stay up, and Juju with the fire strike gets the final blow on the boss. Flux gets used, it'll kill Grill. They might lose Steph. The support line is gone for Diving Phoenix. If they're gonna win this fight, they need to make it fast. Nomi's on top of the cart trying to get the AoE damage of the orbs to help him out, but it's not quite gonna happen. And that'll be the cart moving, maybe completing. Nova's back. Nova's gonna have to have a crazy stall here. They need to stay on cart. Diving Phoenix have gotten off the cart. If that tire shuts down this push, Diving Phoenix might have just lost this map for themselves by not touching cart here. Not quite yet. The Bob is doing work for him. Trades are back and forth. The ults are being used now on the side of Prodigy Noobs. Ooh. That's gonna be a tough pill to swallow for Diving Phoenix when they watch that back.
Both teams really kind of stifling their chances pretty hard, especially with the incredibly late stagger on the grill.
John Hawk hops on the point here, see if they can make anything happen. They've got the primal for the extra stall. Gonna try and boot people off point and force the C9. Nexi charges back on the point though, not looking to let that happen. Nova File with a pick on the Lee Ratty though, not how they want to start this fight off. Now the Valkyrie's in play for Diving Phoenix. Can they make it happen? Vices is uncontested up on this higher ground. Flux is being used. Now the Riptire's out. Is it gonna find it? Finds two! That's gonna be it! Steph is rezzing John Hawk in an attempt to maybe keep their push alive. Hawk leaps up and doesn't land in time. Prodigy Noobs take the series 3-1.
Oof, 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 oof. I'm not saying that was winnable. I'm not saying that map was winnable. That point was very winnable.
I would argue that point was won until all three members got off for one Junkrat that didn't have line of sight on cart with only a half a meter left to turn in.
I agree. Let me rephrase. Let me coin a new term. That was wonnable. Not winnable, wonnable. Sorry, Seth. John, hot question. Why does every team have a junk player?
It's just necessity in Tier 3. If you don't have a junk player, you have an Ash player. That's how Tier 3 works.
If you don't have both, you're just wrong. Lee claiming he doesn't play Junkrat. Okay, so let's peruse the MVPs, shall we? Well,
all right.
Let's start with, can we get the captain's noms?
That would be ideal.
So,
it's actually a pretty big toss-up for me for MVPs right now, because almost everybody that played tonight had at least a moment, but...
I don't disagree. We have Lee and Grill as nominations from Prodigy Noobs, which I agree with actually very strongly. I thought Grill played very well.
Yeah, I was thinking Grill for a support MVP.
And you could also make an argument that Lee played exceptionally well. Not the Widow was just very spicy.
The Widow was indeed spicy.
It's a statement. It's a statement when you drop the spawn grapple headshot, the res, the spawn grapple headshot within the first 15 seconds of the map.
Yeah.
And then you do it again the next map. Like, I appreciate that. I really do. Especially since Mr. Ratty is on like 140 pings. He's playing from Great Britain. So, but let's talk about the side of Prodigy Noobs as well. Our winners of this series.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Mexi is just an absolute pillar of this tank line.
I agree.
Just consistently strong on everything they played. The ball play was good. The Rhine play was good. The off-tank play was good. The Orisa play was everything that they flexed to was solid. Other notable Nova file, big clutches all over the place.
Yes.
None of that signature Pharah play, but big clutches everywhere. Cloud making plays, highly consistent, everywhere. The 5 orbs coming out on Zenyatta, the fat fingers.
That is true.
On Zenyatta. Boss making some really slick reses coming in places. As I say this, they're like, my mercy spicy in the match chat. Yes. So feed me your thoughts there.
My head sort of, the 3 I'm gravitating to for each role is probably Mexi, Nova, and Grill.
I like that lineup. That's kind of that was my thought as well.
I think Mexi just, like, John Hawk, Bad Juju, Nomi, they all played exceptionally well, and all 4 of them are on my tank candidates, but I feel like Mexi just was a step ahead of the other 3 the entire series.
This is a case of, in terms of like MVP, Hawk did so much.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like he was almost forced into trying to do things that he did not need to do to make plays happen. And that looks really good. Like, I think he played outstandingly. there has been discussion around best tank in T3, and I would have agreed best off tank in T3 right now is John Hawk. But like,
Yeah.
Peep keeps polishing up that Winston and the Reinhardt. Like, he might take the old Uravity spot for best tank in T3 now that you've graduated classes here pretty quickly.
That I have.
Although, honestly, after that showing, Mexi also a very strong candidate for that discussion.
Mm-hmm.
With lots of flexibility. But that was actually probably one of my favorite parts about Mexi's play is that it wasn't super showy. It wasn't, hyper flashy. It was solid, correct, good plays, good decision making. Generally, with the exception of some foibles on Havana, good team lead pathing. Muffin Pirate in Twitch chat says John is a beast. He was trying to put the team on his back too much. Yes, exactly. That's kind of my opinion. You're welcome, Prince. Thank you. I appreciate it.
So do we want to go ahead and send out that MVP thing so the teams know? Because I know a lot of people spend their time after the match just waiting on the stream team.
Do you want me to type that up? Or do you have it typed up already? I
do not have it typed up already.
I will type that up while you continue chit-chatting if you want. And I'll answer you as best I can.
I mean, I don't think I have a whole lot more comments to make, other than just my general opinion of the match being just that, I mean, it was a pretty close series in the last two maps, definitely. That Anubis might be one of the craziest Anubis fights I've seen since joining Oasis. Havana just pretty clean from both teams, for the most part, especially once Diving Phoenix kind of found their footing halfway into B during their defense, and they had a defensive hold, too, in the fort. So it wasn't a bad showing from Diving Phoenix on Havana, just unfortunate C9ery on point A kind of squandered their chances to go further. And Prodigy Noobs were just consistently good all series long, which I think ends up netting them this W.
I agree.
Other than that, I'm pretty much done here. Do you have anything else you wanted to add?
I don't have anything else. Chat, what you got to say? Thank you, Seth. Appreciate it. Thank you, Muffin. Appreciate it.
Thank you. If that is all, then I will close this out. Thank you guys for coming and watching the stream. This was a good series. I was very excited to see these two teams clash. I have been your caster, Uravity, and thank you, Crypto, for joining me in commentating this.
No, thank you for doing the observing. It was much appreciated.
And thank you guys again for coming out and watching. Have a good night.
Have a good